This dessert is a bit of a crowd favourite. In any cafe or restaurant that I've seen it, it's pretty much go-to. Pretty standard, but it's delicious, and that's a sticky date pudding. So to make them, I feel like I'm sort of talking to the converted, but what we do, we've got a pot. We're gonna boil some water, about a cup's worth, and then we've got some dates here. These are dried dates. You can use medjool dates, which are the fresher ones, and they're a little bit more ooey gooey, but a little bit more expensive. So these are like your harder dried dates. Okay, so into the boiling water, we put our dates. In with our dates, we put our bicarb. Now the bicarb helps to break them down and make them all mushy. And also helps with the actual aeration, the activation of the actual sticky date pudding. When we bake it, it becomes lovely and light. Now, normally with a sticky date pudding, you'd make a butterscotch sauce or a caramel. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I made a coconut caramel that I served with my pancakes. And we're going to use that instead of making a butterscotch, which gives it a really lovely kind of like, almost tropical vibe. I made this using palm sugar, so I boiled the palm sugar in a little bit of water to dissolve it, then created a caramel, which was at about 160 degrees, into which I poured coconut cream, brought it to the boil, dissolved all the sugar, and we ended up with this unctuous, beautiful, coconutty, sweet sauce. And I said it was going to be useful, and it's going to be very useful here. So I'll just heat a little bit of this up once we've started baking our sticky date pudding. So these come to boil, they just get sort of rested. Okay, they're going to get all nice and mushy. Over here we're going to start making the base of our sticky date pudding. So into the mixing machine, we're going to put some butter. I think it's about 50 grams, just diced soft butter. Then we're going to add sugar, just regular old caster sugar. And we're going to beat that up. We're going to get jiggy with it. Here we go. We're going to slowly start mixing it. We want to soften the butter with the sugar, and we're going to beat it really fast until it's lovely and whipped and fluffy and pale. So look at these. They've all started to break down. It's got a little bit foamy. That's the bicarb, and they get lovely and soft and mushy. So we just let that stand. Okay, slowly that's happening. The butter's a little cold. We're in Melbourne. Everything's cold. Okay, once that's nice and fluffy and pale, we're going to add our eggs. We've got 2 eggs, and I'm just going to beat them up a little bit, just so I can add a little bit at a time. Let that amalgamate a little bit more. We don't want to add it too fast, so what happens is the butter and the sugar don't incorporate well with the eggs and they split. Okay, here we go. It's really coming together. A little bit more, little by little. All of that. Our vanilla essence. Here, I'm going to add my baking powder to my flour, and I'm going to slowly add it to my batter of eggs and sugar. A little bit. Slow mix. Darn it, we'll add the lot. In we go. Down with the lid. Mix it all together nice and slowly. Make sure it's all nicely incorporated. Just check it. Beautiful. Now we can look at our lovely date mixture now. Bring everything in for the side. Make sure it's all nicely amalgamated. We'll just give it a slow little mix. Okay, now we're going to add our date mixture. Little by little. Okay. I'm going to do the rest by hand. Make sure we get all that batter off the whisk and make sure it's all off the bottom, so we're getting a nice even mixture, and the rest of that date bicarb water mixture in here like so, and we're just going to mix it through. Then what we can do is prepare our molds. I'm going to do individual ones. You can do a whole one and then just cut it into squares. But this, if you don't eat them all at once, just allows you to heat them up individually and have a little snack. Beautiful. Let's have a little taste. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Dates are so nice. They're really rich and caramelly. Beautiful. Okay, so, and I'm just going to spray these molds with some fly spray, Renzi. Remember the fly spray? He thought it was Real Ease, and it wasn't. It was Mortein. I don't know how you can confuse the two. Luckily, he was stopped. Liberal spraying. I've done 12. I don't know if I'll need 12. We're just going to put a ladle in each mold to begin with, evenly depositing it. Give it a bit of a stir if you feel it needs it, just to make sure all of those dates are evenly mixed through. I'll probably get about 8, maybe more. No one needs a little bit more. I'll just top 8 up, like so. We might as well make 8 generous ones as opposed to 10 small ones. So these go into a preheated oven at 180 degrees, and we'll bake them until they're just cooked. We'll insert a skewer and it should come out clean. While that's happening, I'll heat up my caramel because I need to pour some caramel over the sticky date puddings once they're cooked. So it's time to check our sticky date puddings. They really don't need that long, about 15 minutes in these little molds because they're quite small. And now the fun bit. So we're going to test them and it should have come out nice and clean. You can see that. See, they're still a little bit springy. But what we need to do is absolutely stab them many times with the skewer. And then we're going to pour over our lovely coconut caramel. And all these little holes will let the caramel soak into the lovely puddings. The only trouble with making them this small is the portions are small. So if you like a big slice, you're going to have 2. So stab, 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 be ruthless. Okay, now, so I've heated that sauce up and we're going to pour it over the top like so. And we'll let those stand with the caramel sauce just on top of them so it soaks it all up. Obviously, it's a lot easier if you bake it in a single sheet because you just pour the caramel straight over the top. Just let these go for a little bit longer. Yummy, yummy. Okay, we'll keep that on the heat, just keeping it warm, and we'll let these soak up some of this beautiful coconut caramel. We just give it a bit more of a stab, like so. So I'm just getting a knife and pulling them away from the edge, just to allow that caramel to seep down underneath as well. And they should become lovely and dense and rich with sauce, soaking them up like a sponge. And they're nice and springy and light. And that's all that sort of baking powder and bicarb in the batter, like so. There we go. We'll let those stand. And I'm going to get a little bowl ready to plate one of these up. And I think I'll serve it with ice cream. So I think we're ready to serve these beautiful sticky date puddings. Now, I'm just going to lift out one of these little babies and look at that. It's all lovely and gooey. I'm just going to put that into the bowl. If you wanted to heat them up, you've left them a little bit too long, just pop them in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes. It's perfectly acceptable. Or you could put them in a steamer if you don't want to use a microwave. And then we're going to add loads more of our beautiful coconut caramel. You can never have enough sauce with a sticky date pudding. Now we're going to get our ice cream. We're going to take a nice big piece of ice cream, because with ice cream, you can never have enough. Now I don't know whether I want to put it on top or on the side. I think today we'll go on the side. Oh, yum. You don't have to do this icing sugar thingy. You could put a little sprig of mint in there. There we have our ooey gooey sticky date pudding with our coconut caramel sauce. And I'm gonna do something really naughty, and I'm just gonna have a little bit straight out of the tin. Let's have a look at this. Look at that. Yummy. Absolutely delicious. This is how we do it. A bit more sauce. Straight into the tin.